Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Hotshot episode. I am so excited to be chatting about such an interesting topic today. But first, I just want to start out with a little life update. So, recently, the agency has just been taking everything by storm. Like there's just been so much movement, there's been so many events, and I have also been just kind of feeling like I'm beginning to see this really cyclical cycle of Eckes marketing and the really highs and lows and the seasonality and just the really consistent like growth and scale of like what we do. And it's been pretty incredible. I mean, each time and each year that go by with Eckes, it's like we hit a new level, we hit a new standard, we hit like a new just caliber of like what we're able to do. And one of the coolest things that's just been a really big career moment for me is that we hosted one of our biggest events to date. We went out to South by Southwest and we represented one of our longtime clients, Clear Stem Skincare, in a live podcast panel event with the Skinny Confidential with Lauren Everett Bostic and Michael Bostic. And it was such a moment and just such a full circle moment. And for those of you that have been following along with Eckes Marketing, you'll know one of my very first events, I actually had Lauren speak at. And so it was so cool. I was so honored. ClearStem basically gave me the opportunity to moderate the panel, which was so cool. And it's going to be basically turned into this podcast episode on the Him and Her podcast. So I just wanted to just take a moment and just kind of recognize that after like 6 years of building the agency, building this podcast, everything kind of came full circle. Then when I look at the trajectory of the agency, but also just all the work that goes into something like this, I have to also take a moment to thank all of the people that have been by our side, have been our cheerleaders, have been our biggest support. A lot of those people are actually a part of the Eckes marketing team. And it is the team members that have made such incredible moments like that so special. It's just a moment of like such gratitude for me to be like, wow, this was such a monumental thing for me, but also too, I got to be able to share it with the people that I care about the most. And it just kind of felt like one of those moments where, rising tide does lift all boats, from working with these different clients to working with people that I'm just such a fan of to, seeing firsthand the way that our team and the way that the agency is continuing to scale. It's just been such a beautiful season and it's been a very hard season. It's been a season of a lot of challenges. And there's a lot of things recently too that I've just tested my character and tested my tenacity. But ultimately, I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for all the things that has just been happening. So, little life update. I also just want to take a moment to shout out I'm going to call her our producer because I genuinely think she's producing literally the show. She has just taken this show, made it her own. And for those of you that have been really listening to this show or following the journey of Under the Influence podcast, you guys will know that I have leveraged this show as my number one, as my vehicle for my passion around social media marketing, entrepreneurship, just the really concept of what influence means. But I have also so many other projects and so many other passions that a lot of times the show doesn't get the recognition or the quality focus that it deserves. And so I just want to take a moment here to shout out our producer, Mackenzie. She's actually a part of the team, and I'm going to call her my producer because I don't think I've had someone that just has shown so much care and so much value into what they're doing, and especially into the show. And I love the way that this is turning into something more. I love the way that we're reaching new audiences day by day. And honestly, it's because she's put her heart and soul into this. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to kind of be the speaking head and to really get to move the needle here, as well as get to talk with you guys and the amazing guests and share on awesome topics. So, little shout out there. I'm just excited for everything that's really coming to fruition. And again, over the last 6 years, I feel like I've just been building. I feel like I've just kind of been chipping away at the ice sculpture. And finally, now I'm seeing these beautiful things that we've built together. And it's just been such a moment of reflection and celebration. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this season of all the businesses and excited for you guys and everything that's coming into our community, which brings me into our topic of AI. Woo! Let's get into it. So, you guys, I feel like AI is everywhere. I feel like, honestly, like that is like the only thing anyone could talk about. And it's really interesting to me, all the opinions, all of the expertise that's coming out, all of just this constant flow of information. I feel like it's even bringing me back to that time where we started seeing social media kind of rise to the top. Now, obviously, artificial intelligence is so much different than a community-based platform just built for people to connect and to socialize. But I feel like we're just hitting this new level of technology in our generation. And, it's funny, I was running through all these different podcast episodes, and I remember there was this really early on podcast episode where I talked about, is social media like a balloon that's going to pop? Like, is it only here for a season? And now looking at it, I feel like our whole entire world revolves around social media. So I'm excited for AI because I feel like AI is like this new beginning of this new frontier of technology and where we're going to go for the future generations. And I'm excited about it and I have a lot of thoughts. So the thing is that AI, I feel like, is also can be kind of a controversial topic, right? We've been hearing a lot of chatter around how AI is really kind of optimizing our workday. It's optimizing business. It's optimizing the way in which we operate on a day-to-day basis. Whether it's in your career, in your personal development, in your passion projects, it's just kind of, again, optimizing all of these skills that we used to have to rely on human intelligence to perform. And then we're seeing this other side of it of, well, AI is really scary. It's really terrifying. It can take our jobs from us. There's this talk of like the supercomputers being threatening and threatening people, taking on actual emotions and actual consciousness. And it's a really interesting subject to get on because there's so much to it that I just feel like we're scratching the surface. There was also recently the pause of all these major tech companies diving into AI. And I feel like that also kind of was a little bit of like a media scare for everyone because it was like, okay, well, is now AI too much? Have we gone like too close to the sun with it? Are we, creating this monster? I feel like I have a lot of opinions, but I also want to be straight. I feel like we just don't know yet. I feel like there's no true answer to whether or not AI is good or bad, but I do believe that AI could be leveraged. And I do believe that it is our job, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you have no job at all, to understand what AI is and to educate yourself on it. Just the same as any other form of technology or further progression or advancement in the world. So, right now, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing the use of AI a lot basically in my job, in the marketing field. Okay, so let's talk about that. So for example, I've seen so much AI within the last quarter come into working platforms such as Notion, such as Canva. There's now a new Google feature of AI. There's ChatGPT. There's just all these different things, right? And I feel like in our field, it's actually creating the ability for us to work smarter and to work faster. So what does that mean? I'm seeing it used in a lot of copywriting. I'm seeing it used in a lot of kind of ideation development. For example, I think I mentioned this on maybe one of the previous podcasts, but I was definitely talking about it on TikTok. I've been using it to kind of build out these ideas that I have in my head, whether it's like a business idea, whether it's research for a business, or even like different standard operation procedures, which I thought was super helpful. And I've also noticed that when I've been using it, it's actually been learning my business. It's been learning Ekis marketing. So, for example, I was writing out these SOPs and it started pulling in information from like our team member expectations and our social media best practices and like all these things that currently we're kind of already living on Notion. And I thought that was really helpful and really cool. And also, those things would have taken me so much time. So, for me to be able to kind of have this done in less than 30 seconds and then go back through and edit it, it completely optimized my time. And it made everything a lot more easier for me instead of me having to do all this research, then write everything up per Ecus marketing standards, and then put it into a nice, clean, formatted doc. So I'm seeing this a lot. I'm seeing it with copywriting. Like I said, I'm seeing it with content creation. I'm seeing it a lot with AI generated imagery. Right now, we're discussing, there's been two huge topics that we've been discussing with a couple other brands. One of them being a AI based influencer and an AI based podcast. So I think that there's a lot of development happening in the space. And I think, again, it's going to be a process of how does AI basically, how does AI impact our consumer journey in the sense of, are you going to want to watch an AI influencer? Are you going to feel that relatability? Are you going to build that trust with them? Are you able to really kind of build up that trust if it's not coming from a human being, but if it's coming from essentially a computer? I use computer loosely. So I think that there's just a lot around this that's very interesting. But I do feel like moving into this, we as marketers, we as people within this career or within this industry, social media marketing, entrepreneurship, we need to get savvy to these skills because I think that they could actually help us. There's so many ways that you could be using AI in your day to day that is going to help you to be more successful and also help you to avoid burnout. Number one, something as small as just having AI grammar check for you. Something as small as having AI write up. We do these things inside of Ecus like weekly updates and or some form of, content or copywriting that's basically just going to be a time suck for you. I feel like you can utilize AI to your advantage there to help you to kind of streamline your workload and also kind of get the smaller tasks out of the way. Second, I think that we could really actually build out our ideas via AI. I think that there's so much opportunity for us to utilize this platform that's basically going and combing through all these different resources on the internet and compiling them into these ideas for you, and then having you creatively use your critical thinking to adjust and format as you see fit. So for example, like there was this really cool story of this entrepreneur that was like, I'm going to try to build a business off of AI. So he basically asked AI to write up this whole business plan, and it did it. It basically told him how much money it needed, how much money it's going to invest in ad spend, what platforms to basically launch on, and he did it, and the company ended up making money. It was profitable. And it was like this total case study for what AI can do for business. But I think, again, this is something as entrepreneurs or as creatives, we can utilize for our own benefit. Even content creators, like just the simple ask of asking AI to come up with a bunch of different content ideas for you, whether it's for your own personal blog, whether it's for a brand, whether it's for things like that, like you can use this to your advantage. And then again, you use your critical thinking and your own creativity to format it into a way that's going to work best for you. Lastly, the third one, I think AI is such a great way to educate yourselves. I have been doing this thing where I ask AI to explain things to me as if I was a 5-year-old or in less than 5 sentences, and then I have it read it back to me. You guys know that like I'm one of those people where I'm constantly wanting to learn, but if it's like something where it's not efficient, it's not a good use of my time, it's very hard for me to really absorb and really want to do it. So for example, I talked about Headway. I talked about this app where it reads the Spark Notes version of these books, these business books, these self-help books, or any form of educational book to you in a high-level overview. AI kind of does the same thing, but on any topic you want. So for example, I was like, hey, AI, and I wish this is going to be embarrassing, but I wish this was something where like I actually knew more about this topic, but I truly don't. I was like, AI, explain cryptocurrency to me like I was a 5-year-old. and then I had it read it back to me. And it was just kind of cool to like basically utilize that as a really quick informational like session. And again, obviously, I feel like there's so many things about AI that need to be fact checked, and you need to do your sourcing and your research as well. But I also think that it's a really great way for you to utilize your education and for you to absorb new information in a really quick, condensed way. So again, use this to your advantage in your job. Help it to build out creative ideas and use your own critical thinking to format. And then lastly, use it as your education platform. Like, have some fun with it. Like, get creative. Like, do some research. I think it just has opened up so many ideas for me that that's the one thing that excites me about AI is that I just see so much opportunity and I want to play with it and I want to get to understand it better and more. So, utilize these platforms that are using it right now or that have implemented into their structure. ChatGPT, again, I love the Notion feature. I think those are my two favorites as of right now. I know there's a lot of other different platforms right now for AI, but I would say those two are my two favorite. So here's the other thing. The advice that I would give marketers that are concerned about your job and your future is what I kind of touched on in the second portion. I don't think that the human experience can fully be removed from at least the creative marketing industry. I don't think AI is going to take that away from us. Again, I think that there is that human experience that as marketers we know we have to build for our consumer. And I think that AI is close, but I don't think it will ever truly get there. Again, I talked about critical thinking. I think that the use of AI is amazing for us to optimize our time, to be efficient, to help things with burnout, to help maybe take over those small tasks that no one wants to do. But at the end of the day, our human connection, our humanity, our humanness is the one thing that builds connection with our consumers. And I don't fully think you could ever take that away. I think that, again, as someone that loves to consume, I love brands, I love marketing, I feel like I wouldn't fully be into buying into a brand that felt like everything was AI generated because my immediate concern is my relatability to that brand and my experience with that brand. And I'm very much so a consumer that buys because of the people behind the brand. And for me, if there is no one to stand behind it, it doesn't resonate with me as a consumer. It feels very money profit oriented, and I want human connection. So that's my take on that. And again, as marketers, look for that, recognize that, use AI to your advantage, but recognize that you are the secret sauce. The human is the secret sauce, the creative, the connection, the, relatability, the, I don't want to say like our brokenness, but like the parts of us being human that are messy is what is our strongest strength. Our strongest strength. I love it. I think that AI is going to continue to grow. I think that we are in for a lot of learning. I think that we are going to really see a lot of future advancement. I would say hang on. I think we are on the new frontier and it's becoming the wild, wild west. And there's not really going to be a lot of structure, coming very quickly. I think it's going to be a slow build, a slow burn of what we're going to see with AI. Fun topics, man. So many incredible things happening right now. So moving forward, so you guys, this has been another incredible hotshot episode. I've been loving these. I feel like they're so quick and they're just, topics that I want to discuss, but also too, I want it to be something that again is uplifting, it's fulfilling, it's teaching you and bringing some value, and also some things that honestly are teaching me and bringing me value. One of the things that we're doing for Hot Shots is we are really wanting to showcase our awesome viewership and also just some of the amazing reviews. Reviews help this show to grow. And it is something where it helps us to bring on better guests. It's something that helps us to reach more of the masses and build a stronger community. but also too, it helps us to know what we're doing right and what things we can be better at. So, like I've mentioned, we will be reading one review every Hotshot episode. And if this is your review, DM this timestamp to me, and you guys will get an Amazon gift card, which is something that I'm excited about because I hope you guys do it. And I can't wait to just be giving out Amazon gift cards left and right. So I want to read this amazing review, and I'm so, so, so grateful for this review in general and just for all of you guys. So this one is by Miss Sabrina Jones. She's the title is Wow, Wow, Wow. And she says, Do do not sleep on this podcast. I honestly didn't know what to expect when starting this podcast, but it is gold. Whitney in general is great to listen to, but also I can relate to her in so many ways. Hearing her story makes me feel like I am not alone, going through all of the growth and not crazy for my way of thinking. Sabrina, you are not alone, girl. We got all kinds of ways of thinking up in here. Continuing to listen to the podcast, I have missed and looked forward to the future, inspiring me to set my goals, and maybe one day I'll get to chat on this with her. Keep killing it, girl. Sabrina, thank you so much. And I'm so happy you like the show. And you guys, this has been, again, just something that has been so cool to answer your DMs, to chat with you guys one-on-one. If you guys have any questions about my journey, about entrepreneurship, about influence, please come say hi to me on social. You guys can reach out to me on TikTok. You guys can reach out to me on Instagram. And my handle is just at Whitney Eckes. But I love you guys all so much. And thanks for another fun Hotshot episode and going under the influence with us. See you next time.